Hello, it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic, and today I'm going to attempt to make beeswax wrap. You can see I've got these pellets. I haven't even opened it yet. I thought I'd do it live on video to see if I could actually make it with my heat gun. Everything that I've seen on YouTube is using a double boil method, and I didn't want to go to the trouble because I knew I only needed very few pellets. So I thought I'd give it a go, trying it out on camera for you. So it could be a miss or a fail, I don't know, until we get going. I found this very cute fabric from Spotlight and I did not want to waste it by trying too much of it. So you'll see here, I'm just cutting out, I'm doing a 6 by 6 inch because I figured that would be a great size for like a mug or a jar, because usually I find I tend to use the beeswax for jars just while I've got things in there temporarily, and if it works I'm going to make some sandwich size ones for some friends, for gifts. I'm already starting to think about Christmas. So you can see here I am just cutting this fabric. Now it does look nice and thin. What I like about this 100% pure cotton is that once it is actually used, it'll almost look like it's double-sided, but you'll see what I mean when we get into it. Now, what I would suggest is using some pinking shears. You can see I got these from IKEA. They were very inexpensive. And I have put this on fast forward, would you believe? And already I make a bit of a dog's ear of it. So it is easier than I've made it look, honestly. I'm just being a little bit scroogey by trying not to waste too much fabric. So I did a bit of a rip. As you know, you can rip fabric and it'll go nice and straight when it's cotton because of the weave in the fabric. And now I'm just trying to get as close to the edge as I can. Before I continue, while you see me painfully do this, you will see quite a few different videos from me over the coming months as I try and experiment doing different things ready. It seems a long way off getting ready for Christmas, but I'd sooner get everything done and dusted well before. So you can see it's not quite square, so I am trying to tidy it up. But then I think the easiest way, and you can see here now, is just to fold it across, because then you know each side is more or less symmetrical. So I should have done that to begin with, really. As you can see, it gives a nice edge to it with the pinking shears. I've just used what I've got on hand, which is this little plastic tub, just to contain these wax pellets as well. So I've got these wax pellets on there. I'm trying my best not to waste any by having them off the fabric, and I'm trying not to double layer them as well. So here we go. So I've got my heat gun, and first thing I notice is that if I get too close with the heat gun, the pellets just fly off. So I'm about 6 inches, I would say, away from the pellets and the fabric here. And you can see I'm constantly having to move them around. Technique that I found worked best was to keep it a little bit further away. So probably about 9-10 inches. This is where I am at this stage. And you can see the wax start to melt now. Now, one of the reasons I actually thought about my heat gun, again, because I am very frugal, I don't want to waste too much of the beeswax pellets because they are quite expensive, is I figured if I've got the heat gun, I could kind of blow it in the right direction I need to spread out the wax rather than have puddles of it. So you can see here that does work. I'm definitely going to use my heat gun again, but if I'm making a lot, then yeah, it's worth going to the trouble and the mess of double boiling. But if you're only using a few of them, making a few wraps, this method I would definitely say is a hit. So I start off by having it about 10 inches away. When I start to see the pellets, I can almost stuck to the fabric at that point. You can see they start to melt. Then I get in a little bit closer, and then I can kind of move direction of it as well. I also think this method definitely saves the pellets, because although I'd put quite a few on, as you could see, there was also a lot of them I didn't need to use. So I would say for this 6 by 6 inch piece of fabric, maybe a level teaspoonful of pellets, maybe a little bit less was needed. You can see I still got the puddles of it, but once I started moving it around with the heat gun, it did help to spread it. This little corner, no matter what I did, wasn't getting the wax towards it, but simply putting another pellet on top was quickly resolved that, and it was melted in there nicely. So this is it more or less done. I have sped up some of the video, but it took 10 minutes in total. So again, a lot quicker than using the double boil method as well. If you've never made them before, these are super simple and they do make nice gifts. Again, I'm making a bit of a mess of it. This because it's completely real, it's no practice. But what I'm trying to do is get it spread out so I can start cooling it off. It is pretty hot to touch, but the more you kind of play with it, the quicker it cools down. And as it cools down, you can see then it's kept that nice pure beeswax colour, that yellow tinge, but it's also thickening up as well. And I can feel it definitely start to solidify on the fabric. And you can see what I mean here as well. You wouldn't know which was the right side of the fabric and the wrong side because the soaking in of that makes it almost like double-sided. I've just got a cup here that I've got in my craft room just to test it, make sure there is enough wax on there, whether it will keep or not. And I would definitely say that's a success. I find I can use these wraps maybe 3 or 4 times before they lose their kind of stickiness or their hold. But you can always add more wax if you want to. If you want to keep the fabric, or just start again is the best bet. And see that it holds its shape. So if you only want to practice making one, definitely give this try. Give it a go with your hairdryer or your heat gun. I would say it's a nice, quicker way, a more efficient way of making the beeswax. Thanks for watching.